Really in Japan, back in the days, that was like a year ago, I was in Congo, and 2 years ago, I was in China. Before China, I was in Ghana. Before Ghana, I was in Ivory Coast. I was in Benin. I was in Togo. I was in well, I've been to a couple of countries. One thing in common with all those countries, I kept on seeing products like Coca-Cola, things like, let's say some more, like cars, for example. Uh, we have some Jeeps there as well. Everywhere you go, you see some products that originally, Coca-Cola is from America. And let's say um, computers like Lenovo, that one is from China. Uh, Dell from America, but you see them everywhere. The question now is, how do these companies manage to get their products around the world? Because originally it's not from those countries, but they have their products everywhere. And this is what we're going to talk about. It's called actually global market entry strategy. So today we're going to talk about global market strategy, and we are going to learn about certain strategies that companies put in place to enter a new market, a foreign market. Strategy is direct exporting. So some of us know this is the most popular one. I think everybody knows this. So basically, what happens is, if you are a company, you are local and you want to become global, you want to sell your product internationally, product or service internationally, what you are going to do is that you're going to put your product into a ship and then send it to the foreign country that you want to sell your product. Now, in this exporting, we have two types of exporting. Sometimes it's not for you to export, to put the product in the ship and ship it to a different country. Sometimes you have travelers who go by and are interested in your product. For example, here in Japan or China, people often go to China, they buy from manufacturers there, and then they take it to a different country or their country to sell it with a profit. They increase a little bit of the original price, and then they make profit out of it. So what happens is that this one is called indirect exporting, because technically it's not the manufacturer himself taking the product to a different country. It's through travelers, through distributors, through vendors. But when it's direct exporting, basically most of the manufacturers have their warehouse at the place where the manufacturer, their local company, where their origin, where the company is based. They also have a warehouse where the products are going to be shipped, like to be sent to. And the distributors, the people helping them to ship the products, have nothing to do with the business itself. Once it gets to the warehouse, they have control over how they are going to sell it, and maybe the only risk that they might have is maybe like the boat sinking or something of a sort. But definitely they have control over whatever is happening. But when it's indirect exporting, basically it's the traveler that is dealing with whatever he's going to do or she's going to do to get the product out of that country and then sell it. The pricing, whatever it has to do behind, it has nothing to do with the manufacturer. The manufacturer just get the customers and sell it to them, and that's pretty much it. So indirect exporting, there is an intermediary kind of traveler that is in there to get the product outside for you. And direct exporting, there is no intermediary. The manufacturer has bases. They call in business English, they call it warehouse. So basically they do control from the manufacturing kind of factory until where the product is being sent, and also what happens after for the sales and all that. Yeah, so somehow too there is a little bit of a problem to this exporting technique or strategy, because sometimes you might be in a market that is really booming. A market boom is a market that is there are a lot of customers. Let's say you are direct exporting and you've exported maybe 100 ketchups. Let's say you have a tomato factory, and in Congo, for example, they don't have a factory that can make ketchup. So you are branching from the USA. You have your warehouse in Congo and you manufacture from the USA. You say you put it in a ship and send it to Congo, 100 bottles of ketchup. The thing is, by the time you get to Congo and your warehouse starts to sell, you notice that there's a huge demand from the customers, because you might be the only one really selling ketchup there. And the thing is, that would be a problem for direct exporting or exporting in general, because the you cannot make a much profit, because for you to have another batch of the bottles of ketchup, you need to wait for the next shipping, which is a little bit tricky at some point. But there is low risk, but in terms of making more money, the budget is limited, and the amount of product, goods, or merchandise, or how do you call that in English again? So merchandise, goods, I think commodity, yes, commodity, that's what I was looking for. Commodity could be a little bit tricky for you to really know how much you should be sending, unless you're doing that direct exporting with customers that have already bought before you even selling the product. So some do it in a way, especially like from the start. Maybe you don't have much money, you have customers already, they have already bought, given you the money. So once they make the payment, they make the purchase, then you can ship their product to them. So that's pretty much it. Now let's move on with some other types of strategies of getting global, putting your product out there to the world from your local company. So there is something called franchising. Franchising is pretty much like having permission to copy, to use, to own someone's property, someone's intellectual property or product or service. So let's say I am an English teacher and I'm teaching at a school maybe called, let's say, ABC English or ABC something. So what I want to do with the franchising is that I would talk to the owner. I'll say, you know what, we are in Japan. My country too is not their first language isn't English. So what I'm thinking is that there's a huge demand there. What we can do is that I can take your brand, take your resources, take your academic plan, take your whatever it is that you're using here. I'm just gonna put it back there, paste it back there, and then I will pay you some money, which is called royalties. I'll pay you some money for, But the only problem with the franchising is that the franchisor is actually always having control over whatever you're doing. Yeah, you have less control, because whatever you do, you get permission from them, because there's a contract there. Like let's say McDonald's, for example, you see McDonald's everywhere, hamburgers. Every McDonald's you see is the different company owned by a different person, but they are franchising, they are franchisee. So you see them, they have to pay some money, like the royalties to the McDonald's company in America, yes, but still there are certain things that they cannot do, right? McDonald's will help them maybe with advertising, maybe with the decoration, maybe with the logo, with the management, maybe with the formula for the secret hamburgers and all that. But that's it. Maybe certain things you can add, but that's like 10%. And there is certain amount of money that McDonald's, the franchisor, will tell you that you cannot reach, or you cannot exceed. You have to operate around these McDonald's kind of thingy from the franchisor. Another thing is licensing. Licensing is quite different now. Licensing at this point is more, you take more ownership compared to the franchising. Licensing is actually buying the permission without the help of the franchisor. So basically, you buy the permission to use the McDonald's, and then you go to your country, you do your McDonald's your own way. You don't pay. I mean, you pay the royalty still, but McDonald's does not tell you what to do every day, how you should structure the kind of housing you should, office you should put the company, the management system. They don't control you that much compared to when you have a franchise. When you franchise your company and something like that. So that's pretty much it. The only difference with franchising and licensing is like franchising, you have less control because you follow the contract. With licensing, you kind of buy the permission to do whatever you have to do with their property. Next, we have, but the thing is, licensing might cost you more because the franchise, the licensor would be a bit, you know, they know that you might exceed them. They know that the competition, because when you have, for franchising, you can never exceed the franchisor. You can never make more than the franchisor. But from licensing, you can make more with that property from the licensor as a licensee. Now, we have some other types of strategy that you can get in the market. We have the strategic alliance. Strategic alliance is just like a boyfriend and a girlfriend. I have a company in America, you have a small company in Congo, and you and I have decided to be in sort of entanglement or a sort of relationship that only you and I can define. Mostly, we know we are dating, but we don't live in the same house. That's pretty much what is happening. So you all have some sort of agreement, some sort of alliance to work together, and but the thing with that is that y'all can be cheated, because you know how it happens. If you don't live with a girlfriend, you're not married yet, you know what happened, things happen still, so cheating can happen. Somebody might decide to cheat on you, like the other enterprise might decide to cheat on you, the other one might decide to do something else. So that's pretty much what's going to happen here. And there is something called joint venture. At this point, joint venture is quite similar to strategic alliance, but this joint venture is more, taking the next step forward. It's more like getting married, Now you are no longer boyfriend and girlfriend, you are spouses. You live, your one company, the other company, two becomes one. 1 + 1 is equal to 1. At this point, is marriage. It's more, the commitment is more stronger now. At this point, you're doing 50-50. The money is in there. You share the money. You share all the risks for the companies. Let's say I'm in the USA, you are in Congo, and here we are trying to do something great. So we have the same vision. We put the money together. We are both but the risk also at this point is that cheating is always there, even in marriage, even there when there's commitment, because some might think, oh, you know what, before you I was this, I was that. So if we now sharing everything, I think I deserve to have maybe 60%, you deserve to have 40%. Or I think I can show you my secret ingredients that actually I can make something on the side, because, this is what you didn't, because circumstances, geography is different. The kind of customers, the kind of tips that you can get from America is different from tips that you can get from Congo. But when it's a joint venture, you must have the same profit. But yeah, cheating might happen. Let's continue with some other kind of strategic ways for market entry in a global market. So acquisition, this is something that everyone should understand. It's from the word acquire. So when we acquire something, we buy it to own it forever, so you become like a landlord, so pretty much you just go there and decide for you to go to a different country. You don't know maybe the market or something like that. So you've seen there's a company booming there, or a friend has suggested you to buy his company. You just go there and buy their company and put your name in there, and you start to run that company. But the risk is that you might not know, you might not do enough research. You might go there and get bankrupt. Like you might go there and not know how the market works, unless you keep the same stuff, or do the same thing the previous person was doing, and then after you've mastered the game, then you can now start to do some changes, make some changes. But technically, it's really difficult. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. The next one is greenfield development. Now, greenfield development is quite different. Greenfield development is not actually buying. It's quite the opposite of acquisition. You yourself, if you have enough money, this has more risk than the acquisition, because at this point you got enough money. You move from your place, from your, like you from the USA, then you want to go to Congo. Now you move from USA, you take the whole factory to Congo. That means you start from scratch. You build the whole company from zero to the next level. If it's a tomato, ketchup, whatever factory, you go to Congo, you buy the land, you build the factory from scratch, you get the employees, you do the market research, you do everything. This is from scratch. This is called greenfield development. So there are more strategy out there, but today I'm going to stop here for the video not to be too long. It was a pleasure. I hope you've gotten something from here. I'm going to leave a little sort of assignment for you. Please match the market strategies with their definitions if you've gotten something from this video. That was your boy, the master teacher Serene. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video and share with your friends so that you can support the channel. This is a worthy channel. It's for serious people. We're here to share knowledge and to help each other grow. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.